Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. We are happy to bring you part four. This is the final part in the four-part series, Tarot with Tam. I hope that you all have enjoyed yourselves so far. I know it's been a lot of fun for us, and we've been learning a lot of neat things. So, if you're new here, I'm Trish. I'm the CEO and founder of Witchsea Academy, witchsea.com, Witchsea Marketplace. And this is Tam. You all know her. You've been getting to know her over the last 4 weeks. So I won't talk too much. I'm going to hand this right over. I'm going to be manning the slides today. And then we're hoping to bring you some really great stuff. So without further ado, I'll hand it over.
All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Here we are at part four, and I'm so excited to finally do this because now we can break away from all the extra learning things. And there's still things to learn here, but now we're going to blend them all together. So whether you are just now joining us or from the other classes, welcome and thank you guys for being here. So today, at the end, we're going to be giving away the most amount of prizes that we've done yet. So one person is going to win a large collector's deck from yours truly. And then someone else is going to win a crystal pendulum that's handmade, also by yours truly. And then somebody is going to get a grand prize of 3 things, okay? So they're going to be getting a tarot starter box, a crystal pendulum, and a tarot journal. And that is something that you really are going to want, especially if you're a beginner. It will really, really help you to refine your things. So, all right, without further ado, let's go ahead and just get on started. Okay. So today, like, we're doing the series 4. We're going to be talking about astrology and zodiacs and how those combine into each other. And we're also going to be doing spreads and intuition and how to boost your clairvoyance things. So just like every other webinar that we've done, I always want to start first by thanking each and every one of you for being here today. The fact that you have chosen me to be your guide in tarot is extremely humbling, and I couldn't appreciate you more. So if you are just now joining us via the recorded sessions, welcome and thank you for being here. All right, let's go on. Okay, so now, like I told you about in class 4 series, we're going to bring everything together that we've been learning. We'll go over all the zodiacs, their dates and their traits, the elements and their qualities, because that also goes into if you remember the suits in the tarot, those elements do. We're also going to talk about different intuition and the types of clairs, how to raise them. We're going to go over spreads, and we're going to finish it up with a short sound bath. Now, let me just go ahead and say I tried to record my own sound bath for you guys, but now because we have good technology with computers and phones, it kind of filtered it out. So unless I get a professional microphone, I won't be able to do that. But I did, however, find a really, really great video via YouTube, and I posted it in here, and we're going to listen to it later. Hopefully we can listen to it live. If not, you will be able to listen to it in the slides. So have no fear. Okay. So, starting out with zodiacs, going over their dates, their qualities, and their associations. So, right at the first, which don't ask me why they don't start at January or something, but the first of the zodiac signs are Aries, fire, of course. And this is March 21st through April 19th. And these qualities are going to have like being very eager, dynamic, sometimes competitive. They're also natural born leaders. So, if you know an Aries and they just so happen to be a boss, imagine that, right? They fit right in with their zodiac thing. Then next in line, we have Taurus, and that's a little earth sign next to it. So Taurus is April 20th through May 20th. Earth signs, of course, very strong, dependable, also very sensual, patient, loyal, stable, routine people. Tauruses also get told a lot that they are old souls. It's just because they have like these eyes that see deeply into things. And so I don't know, I love me a good Taurus. Then next on the list, we have Gemini. Okay, air sign. That's a little cloud next to the Gemini sign, by the way. This is May 21st through June 20th. Air signs, like I said, they're very versatile, expressive, very curious, kind, witty, social butterfly. These people are also very creative folks. They tend to be writers or some sort of craft crafting, arts and crafts. Either way, they excel at those things, writing things too. Then next on the list, we have Cancer. That's me, yours truly, y'all. June 21st through July 22nd. Water signs. As you see the little droplet next to the sign there. Intuitive, sentimental, compassionate, deep, sensitive, so sensitive. We act like in this big harder shell, oh, you don't get my feelings. And it's actually not true at all. We're big total softies on the inside. So true Cancer right here. And then next, Leo. Leo Lion, okay, you fire signs, July 28th through August 22nd. These tend to be a little dramatic sometimes, very outgoing and overall fiery personalities. They're very confident, naturally confident, kind of like, look at me, I'm so cute. They're also very charismatic, and they tend to be natural performers. They're really good at theater and stuff like that. So then next we have Virgo, earth sign, another earth sign, August 23rd to September 22nd. These are probably the most sensitive of all the zodiacs. They're very practical, very loyal, gentle people. They're very soft touching too, thoughtful, service minded. They always want to help other people. Like I said, they're very sensitive and they value order. They like routine and organization. So when things are not like that, they tend to be very anxiety ridden. Virgo also are very intuitive because you guys are so sensitive, and not just sensitive with your emotions, but to the skin, touch, sound, lights, everything is extra sensitive for you guys. So because of that, you tend to be really good tarot readers and intuitive empaths because you can literally feel everybody else's stuff. So then next we have Libra. I see someone said Libra in the house. Well, that's Trish. Oh yeah, baby, Libra in the house. Okay. September 23rd to October 22nd. My mom is also a Libra. I don't know if Trish, this is true for you, but she definitely speaks everybody's truths, including her own. It's great though. They're air sign. They're very social. They're also very fair and diplomatic. Gracious. They're the balance bringers and the truth speakers. And when I go back to balance bringers, they will make the balance happen even if they have to upset a few people. In the meantime, don't, have some feelings around the Libra because they might get hurt. So then next we have Scorpio. One of my favorites is what my husband is. So of course, October 23rd to November 21st, water sign, passionate, stubborn, brave, intense. Let me tell you, they're very intense, mystical, okay? They can also be very intuitive because they're the water signs and they're very sensitive to everyone's emotions. A lot like the Cancer, they pretend like, you're not really getting to their feelings or into their heart. It's a ploy. Yes, you are. They are very sensitive inside. They also tend to be a little stubborn, brave, like I said, intense, intuitive, private, deep, and mystical. So next up, Sagittarius. Okay. November 22nd to December 21st. And a lot of times when you meet a Sagittarius person, I call them the old people of the zodiac because they are early risers. They get all the action done all day long and then early to go to bed too. Fire, like I said, extroverted, optimistic, funny, generous, adventurous, sensitive. Let me add too, for men and women, depending on when you're born in that Sagittarius time can be a bit different for you. So a lot of women I have met that are born later in December Sag, they are not extroverts at all. They want to be inside. They're just extra sensitive. And that can happen a lot too, especially if your birthday lies very close to the cusp. You're going to have some of one and some of the other's signs too. So, all right. And then next, we have Capricorn. Lovely earth signs, okay? December 22nd to January 19th. Earth signs, serious, independent, disciplined, responsible, value structure. I put it quote unquote dad. And so are they in relationships as well, just because they're responsible and they're disciplined and they're very grounded, chill people. So then next, Aquarius, a little cloud on the side there. January 20th to February 18th, okay? Air sign, deep, imaginative, uncompromising, sometimes stubborn, They can be very go with the flow, which is good. They don't have holding on to control for very many things, but they can tend to be a little icy, just like the time frame of the year that they're born. Aquarius also has this great way of detaching from things with no emotions if they need to protect the space. Then last but not least, we have Pisces. Beautiful little Pisces. February 19th to March 20th. Water, of course. They're very affectionate, very empathetic, artistic, dreamy, deeply emotional, and intuitive. And a lot of times when I go back to that dreamy state, a lot of times that's what they're doing. They're always in like la la land of wanting for the better and wishing for the better. But they're also very deep and affectionate, like I said, and very intuitive of the signs. So, okay. Now we get into the elements. Each one of these elements, by the way, fit because so that's why I put it next to next to which element we're talking to. So, for instance, the fire elements are going to refer to the wands in tarot, and so on and so forth. So let's not forget that, okay? Because you're going to want to remember. You're going to see a wand and be like, oh yeah, that's fire. And fire signs and their qualities, okay? Energy, desire, willpower, creation, that spark that pushes things forward and the force that fuels ambition, okay? Action, movement, passion, inspiration, creativity, courage, confidence, risk takers. Shadow side, okay? Because we've all got a shadow side. They tend to can be impulsive or volatility or a tendency to burn out just because they're going so much, all action all the time. Okay, and then next here, Earth. Okay, these are also associated with your pentacles. These talk about having stability, of course, because those earth signs are very grounded. Material reality, long-term growth, the element of grounding, structure, and the physical world. Let's see, more are practical, patient, discipline, security, health, home, work, finances, and what make us feel rich in life with too, if you remember me telling you that from class. Money and care and career foundations, physical well-being, long-term commitments. These are folks that are really, really good at long-term commitments, managing money. They're also great parents because they're real stable and they're also real patient. Patience is a virtue, and not all of us have it. So shadow side for the earth signs there are stagnation, overly cautious, sometimes can be materialistic, of course, because they're running the finances. So all right, now next, we have a cusp with January 20th. Okay, yeah, that's great for you because it's like, all right, well, let's have a little bit of Capricorn and Sagittarius in there. So then air signs, swords, thought, communication, clarity, conflict. Remember, these swords are things like inner battles and things that we have conflicts with ourselves in over. The realm of the mind, logic, and truth. And the stories that we tell ourselves, right? They also represent intellect, analysis, decision making, communication, honesty, boundaries, conflict, tension, mental challenges. Shadow side of air signs, though, sometimes they can have a lot of anxiety or just overthinking or be just a little too harsh, delivering that truth a little too, well, harsh. So then now we have water signs, okay? The last one for here. Cups, obviously, waters are your cup signs. These are emotions, intuition, relationships, and the subconscious, the element of feeling, connection, or inner flow. Empathy, compassion, sensitivity, love, romance, friendship, imagination, dreams, and intuition are all things that these also have qualities for. Emotional healing, relationships and intimacy, creativity, and spiritual intuition. So, of course, you guys know that I definitely became a reader because it's what I meant to do. I mean, just look at it right here. This tells you right here. Shadow side, though, moodiness, escapism, emotional overwhelm. Yeah, that last one is definitely a thing. I can definitely get too much emotional burnout and just, it's not good for the next day. Then next, okay, now we get to talk about what is intuition. We're going to talk about different ways to raise it. So intuition is the ability to understand or know something immediately without relying on conscious reasoning. It's a form of fast, feeling-based knowing that often shows up as a gut feeling, a sudden insight, or an inner sense of what's true. I love this definition. That's the exact definition, by the way, if you were to Google that. So, all right, and next. One of the most common statements that I hear is when a client says that they are not intuitive. That's actually not true at all. Everyone is intuitive. It's just how much tapped in are you or not, how much you are or not tapped in. There we go. Some folks tend to shut it off at a young age due to fear or other social situations like family and or belief system. Each and every one of us humans actually is built with this ability. We have a pineal gland and is right in the center of our eyes in our brain, right in the center of the forehead, and it actually has cones and rods in it just like the eyeballs do. It is made to see too. Its main function is melatonin and serotonin hormones. It's part of the endocrine system. But main sources will tell you the latter of that info, and not so much that it helps you to see. And it also just so happens to be right where your third eye chakra is located, right in the center. Imagine that. Why would they put our chakra there if it didn't have that going on? And here is the brain sliced in half. And that line that you see pointing to this little blue triangle, that's the pineal gland. It's pretty cool that it's in there. It's a little bitty knob. Scientists have proven things like fluoride calcify the pineal gland. Of course, raise our vibration and connect to the other realms on an even deeper level. Partaking in a cacao ceremony before being led into breath work by an actual person, by the way, has also shown to have some amazing side effects, from the way the cacao is prepared at home all the way to, sorry, it's slow there, the way the meditation coach is having you breathe, all has an effect on your experience. Herbs that you can burn, so you can put them, I use a 6-inch crystal, or not crystal, crystal cauldron, guys, cast iron cauldron, fire safe, to burn herbs singly, but you can use something like that. So herbs that you can burn and or drink as a tea to help you boost your spidey senses are, first, let's add a disclaimer. Always research whether an herb can or can't be consumed due to your health and or the medications that you're on. They can have adverse effects, okay? So always look into that. Don't just be like, hey, I heard that you can smoke some mugwort. Okay, well, you might not be able to because it might do something to your blood pressure. I don't know. For mugwort, lucid dreaming, divination, psychic mind, lavender. Oh, hey, by the way, I want to give you guys a little hint. When you want to burn single herbs like this or just a few, and you do have a fire safe dish, get yourself a little disc, a lot like this. It's a charcoal disc. You just set it down there in the center, you put your little dried herbs on it, and with a nice long lighter, you light it up and it will burn until it burns out, and then boom, you're done. So, lavender. It will calm the mind and help support psychic dreams, insight, and spiritual receptivity. So just smelling lavender, you can use it as an oil. I use most of these as oils because I have pets and a kid with asthma, so I can't necessarily be burning a whole lot of herbs all the time. There's so many different ways you can do things, right? Sage clears your energy, gives you a safe space. That alone will help to relax you so that you can open yourself more. You can receive the messages and pay attention to them a little more. Rosemary sharpens mental clarity, opens the crown chakra. Bay leaf, divination, wisdom, insight, and abundance. Something else you can do with bay leaves is take yourself a little marker or whatever you want to use to write, and write your thing of abundance on each bay leaf. You can put that in your simmer pot. You can add it to your herbs that you're burning. It just adds to what it is that you're trying to bring in. So then pennyroyal tea, okay? You have to be careful with pennyroyal tea because if you're not using it right and you're just drinking a whole bunch of tea, it can be fatal. All right. This is a poison. It ends up being a poison. So just like a lot of things, even vitamins, you can't take a whole lot of them. But pennyroyal tea a lot of times is used in folk magic and can enhance your psychic abilities. And I did put on there, can be fatal. Blue lotus, spiritual insight and intuitive depth. Okay. That one is a great one. It's nice and pretty. It's a little more expensive than your basic herbs. You can get it in like smaller amounts, but most of your, metaphysical shops will have that. So, okay, now we have So I did this on purpose. That top picture up there, that is where they have taken a lot of herbs and they've made it into an oil. And then next, she's making tea, the same one. That's a herb tea beside him. And then on the bottom, that's a big old lavender field. And then next to that, they are wrapping different bundles. So instead of just a sage, you can have all those herbs that we talked about in one bundle and burn it around your house if you like. I bet it would smell really good too because that lavender. Now we get to talk about one of my favorite things besides tarot, crystals. Okay. As we know, crystals are a great tool for many different things in our lives. And as many of you already know, there are specific ones that help to boost your already given talent. You can wear them as jewelry, like I am, also in rings. Hold them in your hands when you meditate, or have them sitting right beside you. I like to incorporate all the above. And a little hint for you, if you have crystal jewelry, you can recharge them on a piece of selenite. I use a big selenite stick like this. I sell smaller ones than that, like 3-inch, 4-inch ones in the shop. But you can just lay your jewelry on top of that and it will help to recharge your things. They also sell them in bowls or a slab as well. So I use a stick, but a bowl or dish is also nice too because your jewelry, you can just drop it on in there and it'll recharge them. So, all right. Now, ones that actually do help with these. Amethyst, of course, number one of my personal favorites. Got a nice big old chunk right here. I like to set this on my phone stand when I'm doing Zoom readings. I put one of these in black tourmaline. So anyway, amethyst helps to boost your intuition. Also a stress and anxiety reliever. So that's another thing to help when you're trying to receive messages or boost your intuition. You want to be nice and calm. And amethyst is also for your third eye chakra. Purple. That's your third eye chakra color too. Purple. Then we have clear quartz. Let's see. I got a nice big chunk right here. I meant to set them all close by. Nice big old chunk of clear quartz right here. Amplifier. Clear mind. Your crown chakra. All right. Then fluorite. And I'm pretty sure that they would be talking about most of the fluorides because there's green fluorite, there's purple fluorite, and then there's rainbow fluorite. But they heighten intuition, mental clarity, and that one is for your third eye and your crown chakra. Then next we have labradorite, the psychic stone. Nice flashy thing. That's for your third eye chakra and your throat chakra. Speaking your truth. So a little double duty there. Then next we have moonstone, and this can be peach moonstone, pink moonstone, rainbow moonstone. I don't know why they call it rainbow moonstone because it's white with like black and a little bit of flash. But anyway, intuition, aids in premonitions, third eye chakra. Okay. Then we have Super 7. I do have a piece of Super 7 here, but it's small. And Super 7 is 7 different crystal minerals in one where it has grown like that. Okay. And that's the main healing stone out there. Also an all chakra opener. All 7 of your chakras, boom, open. Then we have azurite, focus, third eye chakra. Sunstone. Most of you like sunstone too because it's orange and it's got like a lot of speckles and pretty sparkles. Heightens your intuition for the solar plexus and for the crown chakra. And then, of course, I have to put on there selenite because they recharge crystals in overall energy and cleansing. You can also take a piece of selenite like this and clear your auric field where you just go around your body, all around the air and space around you, and that will help to clear the energy around you, your auric field. We're just rolling right on through, aren't we, guys? Now, I wanted to be sure, when you can't hardly see the clear quartz on the bottom of the picture one, but I wanted to be sure to incorporate this middle picture, and you'll see something like this again. I am a big fan of Reiki healing energy. Anybody that can move the energy in your body, and if they're incorporating crystals, which most of them do, it definitely helps. And notice how they have one laying on her throat. Then they have one right here for the heart. There's 2 at the heart, and that's because the heart chakra has 2 colors, green and pink. So you have a green crystal, and you also have a pink one, most likely rose quartz. Then on the bottom, on the left, that is labradorite. So a beautiful selenite tower up in the top one too. That's a good way to have that, add energy to your room. Okay, now we get to talk about clairvoyance. And I actually was under the impression that there was only 6. but there's 8 different clairvoyances, okay? Clairvoyance itself is just one part of a larger family of intuitive abilities, often called the clair senses. These are different ways people perceive subtle, energetic, or psychic information. Together, they form a full spectrum of intuitive perception, each with its own channel and style of receiving insight. The most complete modern breakdown identifies 8 clair senses, each with a distinct meaning and mode of perception. And now let me just tell you real fast, too. Not everybody has all of them. A lot of people, though, well, you'll notice they'll be like, oh, okay, sometimes I have this, and then sometimes it comes like that. I feel like mostly it's how spirits can connect with you. So that's kind of where I'm kind of coming along with, if you're sometimes hearing things or sometimes smelling something or sometimes a weird taste, maybe it's just a different type of spirit and they're kind of trying to get a hold of you. So, all right, now we're going to get into each one and what they are and what they do. Okay, so the first one, clairvoyance. That's the main word, right? This means clear seeing, perceiving information through inner visuals such as images, symbols, colors, scenes, visions. This may appear like a mental movie, flashes or of imagery or symbolic pictures that convey meaning, often linked to the third eye. So, for instance, I'm going to try to give you an example of each one. There'll be a time when I can go into a place and I'm having a vision. It's like a real time. I'm seeing through my now eyes, right? But I'm also seeing a different picture in my brain, if that makes sense. It's like they're playing a movie for me so I can see what it looked like before. I can actually call out the paint color or stuff in the room. It's pretty strange, but it's very real. And that usually happens if I touch something. And then next we have clairaudience. That's got an ear next to it, okay? As you know, audience, people are listening to you. Clear hearing, receiving intuitive information through inner hearing. This can feel like hearing a word, a phrase, a tone, or a message inside the mind rather than with the physical ears. Some describe it as a download or almost like a voice of guidance in your head that's not always your voice that's speaking to you. Sometimes they mean, for instance, when I visited a place called Main and Madison Cafe, it's a coffee shop down in Franklin, I walked into a different time period and I could hear sounds of wheels turning and people walking very fast. Come to find out, I was standing in what used to be the surgery room of the first hospital in Johnson County in Franklin. So that was pretty crazy. That's the first time I really had a lot of clairaudience, hearing the things. So now next, clairsentience, okay? Feeling, clear feeling. Notice I put a heart next to that because we're feeling with our hearts, guys, our little sensitive, lovey hearts, right? Now, can you tell I'm a Cancer? Sensing intuitive information through emotions or physical sensations. This includes gut feelings, energetic impressions, or feeling like someone else's emotion, or feeling someone else's emotions or pain in your own body, also known as intuitive empath. And if you notice, a lot more people are becoming aware of being an intuitive empath. And they're like, I have anxiety when I go into a full place of people. Well, honey, that's not anxiety. That's also you feeling everybody else's energy. And those symptoms, those feelings come out exactly like anxiety. And so let me tell you, honey, your anxiety is lying to you. It's not just you. You are picking up everything around you. So at this point, we have to learn, when we do find out that we're like that, learn how to observe and not absorb, see without getting it in there. Also, there's guided meditations where you can veil yourself, or it's like an invisible veil that you put when you go to places like Walmart. I keep a little spray bottle in my car of sage essential oil, shake it up with some crystals in there and spray it around my body because, yeah, just like Trish said, it is draining sometimes. So next, clear cognizance, okay? That's the light bulb on over there that's right next to it. It's bing, clear knowing, instant, unexplained knowing without logic or reasoning. Feels like sudden truth, insight, or understanding that simply drops in, often described as a mental download or stronger inner certainty. This one, sometimes, okay, and I don't always get psychic messages or people's, I don't hear everybody's thoughts or anything like that all the time. Sometimes I will get a word or a couple if I'm standing close by to someone. And the one time I did do that, I think he also could do that too, because I was at a pool, guy is floating by in the lazy river, and I thought to myself, I know I thought it, dang, it looks like he's going through a lot. He looked right at me, and I heard him say, yes, I am. And I was like, this was not me. It's not the radio. I'm laying out. This is crazy. Okay. I had to get up and leave after that. Cause I'm like, he heard me too? No, I don't think so. So next, let's see. Clear aliens. I should have put a little alien head next there, but you wouldn't have understood what I meant by that. So I put a nose. Clear smelling. I don't know why it's called it. Clear smelling. Psychic smelling of scents that have no physical source, like an instant flower, perfume, smoke. That's a big one, is some smoke. Cigarette smoke or cigar smoke. Especially if you're someone who does not smoke. You're like, where's that coming from? Or other aromas that carry symbolic or spiritual meaning. So, for instance, if you are a super religious person, sometimes you will smell like frankincense or myrrh, and that's mainly for, if the Catholics, they like to go through, and it's kind of like saging the space. They burn frankincense and myrrh in there, and a lot of times people, if they just have a lot of questions and they are very spiritual, they'll smell something like that. And it doesn't have to be like that. Like it says, flowers, perfume, smoke. You have like a certain family member that's been trying to get a hold of you. They're probably going to make you think of them by having you smell what they smelled like. Then next is, I put a funny tongue next to this one, clear gustance or gustance, okay? Clear tasting, psychic tasting of flavors without eating anything. Right. This can signal memories, messages, or symbolic meanings connected to the taste, just like hearing and just like smelling will. The same thing. Your olfactory senses are amazing and they're connected. So, all right. Then next, let's see. Just rolling right through these today. These are the last two. These are the ones that I wasn't sure actually existed when I thought there was only 6, because I'm like, well, there's so many senses, taste, much. So clairtangency. Notice how it has a hand. Tangency is something that you can touch, tangible. Clear touch or psychometry. That's funny, right? Receiving intuitive information by touching objects, photos, or places. This may reveal impressions about the object's history, owner, or emotional energy. 100% the truth. I went through the Hannah House, which is a very famous mansion here in Indianapolis. And I knew when I went through the rest of the house not to touch anything. I didn't want to touch the stairs or grandma's room with her belongings in there. But when I got downstairs, and if you look up the history of the Hannah House, then you'll know what I'm talking about. I touched a door, and instantly I could look up and see burn marks all over the ceiling, and I could smell burning old burnt wood and like a musty dirt smell. That's where all the fire had happened, was in the basement. And I wasn't seeing them through my now eyes because the burn marks are no longer there. I was seeing them through their eyes or the past eyes. I don't know, clear tangency. So then last but not least, I purposely put the 2 hearts because that's the emoji with the 2 hearts and they're swirling. And that's basically like a, and I can't think of the word, like an energy going in and out, a cycle. There we go. Clear empathy, clear emotional feeling, psychic, physically, there we go, feeling the emotions of others, even at a distance. This goes beyond normal empathy and can include sensing emotional energy that is not yours. I found out so we moved around a whole lot when I was a little bitty girl. And whenever we'd be moving into a new place, my grandma, who is now passed, would walk me through and just look at me and watch how I reacted in places. And she knew I could tell right away if this was haunted in a bad way or just some regular ghosts and it's fine if we live here, they're not going to mess with us type thing. And that's basically how we gauged where we were going to be living, because if not, I was going to be an emotional wreck because I'm seeing ghosts everywhere, you know what I mean? So okay, now that we got through all of those, now we're going to learn spreads. And I'm hoping that we actually have extra time today because now we can do even more questions. So if you had other things that you wanted to retouch on, we'll be able to when we're done with this. So now we get to do spreads, okay? I personally don't really do many spreads, but if someone asks for one, like a lover spread or they, something like that, I 100% will give them one. Something super cool, which I'll tell you here later, that you can make your own. Yes, absolutely. So spreads are a more structured way to give a reading. It is a template with questions centered around an answer that the querent is seeking. The querent is the person that you're giving the reading for. They typically have a certain way that the cards lay out, such as the Celtic cross. And I will even give you a few spreads to get you started, including their questions. And like I said on here, FYI, you can create your own. I create my own all the time. It's very basic. You just have to figure out how many cards you want. For basically a full moon reading, we do 6, and I kind of create questions, and we go around in a circle, making the shape of the moon, and boom, there you go. So everything from the questions being asked to the way you lay them down is all going to matter with when you are doing a spread because it is structured. So next, we'll show you here. This one is going to be like your basic 3-card spread. For instance, like you want to go ahead and go to the next one, Trish? There we go. So if they had a question about past, present, and future, or mind, body, spirit, situation, challenge, advice, this is something you want to do. You can also lay a 4th clarifier card down. Sometimes you'll see me do that at the end of a reading. I just get an urge like, hey, I feel like we should go ahead and pull one more card. Go ahead, by all means. But this one is best for you start on the right, on the left, obviously left to right. 1 would be past. 2 would be what's happening right now in the present. That's an issue. And then 3, of course, would be the future one or advice. So then next we have a fun one, the law of attraction. And I tried really, really hard to get this one to go in like a fun anyway. 1 will be your significator card. That is going to be the person who you're doing the reading for. Sometimes you can even look through the deck and see a card that resembles them. So if it's like a young teenager, pull a page. If they're a fire sign, then pull the Page of Wands. Or you can pull the Queen of Wands. Whatever you want to do as that card being what you're talking about. Then the second one, your current energy. So basically what you would do, and I'm going to also send you guys the link to this, or not the link, but what this book is called right here, Guided Tarot. This has got some awesome spreads in there, different kinds that I didn't even put in here just because I didn't have a chance to, but they'll tell you in there, number 1, and then it'll say choose a card based on your desired manifestation. Okay, that's for the law of attraction one. Then 2, your current energy. And so you just go, so on and so forth. You start your first question or say your first statement, pull the card and put it in that placement of the spread. Then your current energy, that's going to go on the bottom one. The energy you need, like what are you trying to call into yourself? 4, how to get into alignment. 5, letting go of. What is it that you need to let go of? This can be, of course, control or, just something that you're holding on to. Then next, we have one of the most famous spreads that I wanted to make sure I put in here because the Celtic cross comes up a lot for people who want to do spreads. And so I'm giving you a smaller version of the Celtic cross, which you'll see on the next slide. I only went up to 10. There are some, by the way, for instance, I have this other tarot book and her Celtic cross goes up to 23. I didn't have enough room for that on there, but you can do that. Like I said, though, but you don't have to. So this is the basic one. So if you see the number one over there in the middle, that's where you're going to start with your present situation. The same way we did the last one. Number two, your card space is going to be right there. Opposing energy. That's why it's laid flat like this on the side, because it's something that might be blocking you. Three, what is below? So of course they put that one below everything. Number four is going to be what is above. Obviously, that's why they put the four up there. And then five, what is behind you? So obviously, also, if you remember from the last slide we just did with the 5 card spread, the number one card is the card that talks about the person getting the reading. So all of these are centered around that one because that's what this is about. It's about you or them. Then 6, what is before you? Then they go over there to the end, to the edge over here. 7, your energy / feelings. 8, other people's feelings. 9, hopes and fears. And then finally 10, the outcome. Now you can look them up and see for the longer ones, and you can find spreads too that other people have created on Google. You don't have to stick to a template that I'm showing you. Okay. Each one of your chakras actually vibrates and creates a note, a sound. So does the earth. It registers at a certain frequency and sound. The sound of life itself. When each bowl is played, the vibrations travel inward, pushing out all the invisible stagnant energy that we have absorbed. It awakens each chakra, allowing us to feel more calm, connected to our surroundings, and it can also help with sleep and overall anxiety. I personally try to go to at least 3 to 4 times a year. Seriously. Like I highly, highly, highly recommend doing a sound bath. Okay, next. Let's see. These are examples, okay? This is a full big O set. This has got more than just the 7 chakras. They've got other notes and stuff too in the top left corner. That's Himalayan bowls. Those are the metal bowls. I wish I could play one for you right now because they have a specific sound. Ding! And then right underneath that one, if you notice how this person is laying down, I told you a few slides ago when the person had the crystals on their head and that was Reiki. This is basically what they're doing. They're laying down on a yoga mat, very comfortable. It looks like they're outside, and they have bowls placed all around their head, which is the best way for you to absorb that sound is through the head, through the body in general. And then she's got some crystals on top of their body. So I think she's doing sound and Reiki both. Now, the next picture over to the right, she's using crystal sound bowls. And they do come in different colors. Sometimes they are the colors of the chakra to help remember. But basically, they start low with the root chakra on the bottom. They start low. It's a big 12-inch circumference bowl that's giant. And it has a real low sound. It's my favorite sound besides the third eye chakra one and the heart one. Okay, I have a couple that are my favorites. I'm sorry. But if you get into this, you can do it at home too. You can listen to guided meditations on YouTube. The guy that I uploaded the video on the slides for, he actually has a lot of them that are either short or long. It really just depends on what your vibe is. I suggest using headphones, sitting in a quiet space with headphones. That way you have to hear it in here. So, all right, you want to go to the next one now? Okay. We are hoping that Trisha's going to play this, okay? And we're really, really hoping everybody's going to be able to hear it. If you can't hear it, I am really, really sorry. You will be able to get it on the slides, though. It is in the slides, so you'll be able to hear it in there. So I invite you now to breathe comfortably. Relax your forehead, drop your jaw and your shoulders. Allow the vibrations to enter your mind and body. Of course, I did put best with headphones, but this is more for like when you would be at home.
And if you guys could just throw us a thumbs up if you can hear it, that way we know it's playing, okay? And I'm gonna start that now.
I know for some people, you weren't able to hear that. I'm really sorry. We tried really hard to do it live, which was going to be even better. But you will be able to get the slides. You'll be able to hear it on your own and keep them. Both Trisha and I both posted them over here in the questions. But if you need me to put it in your email, I 100% would love to do that for you when this is done. So thank you all so much to each and every one of you beautiful souls that have taken this journey with me. I couldn't have been more prouder and more excited to have shared my knowledge with all of you. And I'm glad that we actually are done a little extra this time because we get to do even more Q&As. It's my favorite part, being able to connect with you guys like this, being able to chat and answer your questions. So do you want to do that before we talk about the psychic visions? They can be very overwhelming, and sometimes you can experience multiples of the clairs during a vision. You'll have smell and you'll have sound. So just try to relax when this is happening. So it kind of just let it happen. Pay attention to the different things, how things are, what you're feeling, what you're smelling, what you're hearing, stuff like that, because they are messages for sure. Something is trying to tell you, whether it be your guides, your angels, I don't know what you may have with you, but they're definitely trying to tell you that something's there to pay attention to. So, especially if you're a sensitive person and you get them all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, Miss Kimberly, I'm going to go ahead and post them again right there to the chat. You should just be able to click on that Google Doc right there and the slide, and you should be able to keep the slide for yourself.
And I can send you this email list after, and you can send them to everyone if you want to do that. And let me quickly do Kimberly Anderson
Woo!
collector's deck. And then,
Nice.
okay, the next one.
This is for a handcrafted crystal pendulum.
That is Joanna Santiago.
Joanna, look at you.
And then the last one is for what was the last one?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's for a tarot starter box, a crystal pendulum, and a tarot journal.
So this is for Misty Duncan.
Oh, yay, Misty. Exciting. Okay,
Exciting.
I'm pretty Witchsea site, and I also do am now offering tarot tutoring for only $1 a minute, which is cheaper than a reading. So it's great. You can get on there, ask me questions. We can help, get you really understanding the tarot. And the next class is going to be the 7th. Ask a reader, totally free, 1 hour, and we get to do all kinds of stuff. Talk tarot. I get to read for you guys if you want. And also, I'm going to put in here in the chat the name of this book. I want you guys to, if you want to look this up, you can find it on
We may have
Amazon.
we may have something like that in which the Tarot Fellow has a whole bunch of guided tarot books. One that looks similar to that, but I think it's just called I can't remember. It looks very similar to the one that you showed.
Mhm. For sure. And even me as a reader, I still buy tarot books to this day because you never know what person is going to tell you something that you just don't know before. You know what I mean? And plus, it's not like you have to keep that information for yourself. You can decide to use it or you can.
Exciting.
Yeah.
So I think what that might look like is it was going to look like a free event, and then Tam is going to offer some digital downloads, so you'll actually have like the birth chart cheat sheet, and then you'll also have a fillable sheet. So as we're kind of going through it, you're able to fill in what your birth chart is and what that means for you. So that's going to be really neat. So she's working on those digital downloads now. So
For
I don't
sure.
know. Yeah, I don't know what everyone's kind of having a problem.
A lagging problem.
Yeah, lagging problem today. Is that what's going on here? Hang on a
I
second.
think so. I was having a lagging problem when we were starting this, you guys, so don't feel bad. I tried to do the slides on my own because I got my own new laptop and everything, and it was going by really slowly. And so we thought, well, we'll just let Trisha do them today.